I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Time to strap in, pull those belts, and get ready for an action-packed episode of the True North Racing Podcast. Are you ready to unmask? Unhelmet your favorite racers? Get ready for the most fun you'll have outside the racetrack to get you ready for the next race. You're listening to John Morrison and Megan Mitchell, and this is the True North Racing Podcast.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the True North Racing Podcast presented by Driving with Haley. I'm your host, John Morrison. Joining me as always, our amazing co-host, Megan Mitchell. Megan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's race season is officially over. Yeah. How are you handling the off season so far? Are you enjoying it? Are you wanting to get back to the track? Kind of how are you feeling?
I don't know. It's nice right now to have that opportunity to go do other things that I couldn't do during racing.
Yeah.
But it's like last weekend, I think, was my first weekend away from racing. And I'm like, this feels really, really wrong. Like, I feel like I'm missing an appointment or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it stressed me out. But I'm going to give it by like, maybe not next weekend, but I think the weekend after that's when it's really going to hit. And I'm going to be like, okay, I'm really bored. Like,
yeah. It's crazy when the off season actually does come. Like sometimes we just look forward to the off season, but once it's here, we just don't want it, and we want to go back racing so bad. Yeah. It's we're in that weird lull, and you know there's still racing going on all over the country. Like I think it was Brockville just ran this past weekend. Was it? Oh, I gotta go check that out before I make sure I got that correct.
I'm pretty sure they did.
I think it was Brockville. Looks of it, yeah, Brockville. Brockville ran on the weekend. Flamborough had their enduro, which I'm surprised you guys haven't put a car in for the enduro. No. You know, if you go out there, if you survive, you survive. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like fun.
I've thought about it, but I don't know. It's not.
Do that with a car you're gonna get rid of. It's plain and simple.
That's true.
Right? It's already been a weird start to the off season, in my opinion. You know, there's still things going on. I'm trying to get everything wrapped up over here on our end of Joe Media Promotions. You know, write-ups started. I got one out. I have like 3 partially done. We got drivers reaching out about next season. I'm even working on a hero card for somebody that's going to be driving next year already. Like, it's
nice.
There's weird things. It's such a weird start to the off season. Of course, at the end of November, you know, we got 2 more episodes. We have 2 more episodes together.
Literally.
And I mentioned you this week, and I said, I'm like, it's gonna feel really weird on Sundays to not sit here and talk to you on the show. And then I quickly remembered, I'm like, we're changing the scheduling around how we do things next year. So it's not a big deal. I'm still going to see you on Sunday nights. Just we're not going to be doing the True North Racing Podcast. That's going to be recording Monday nights, and then we're going to record the driver's seat on Sunday nights. So that way, because I realized like by midweek, because we would record on Tuesdays, by midweek, we're already preparing for next week. We don't care about last week.
Yeah.
So if we can record Sundays, get it out Monday, then that's perfect. If I could do the True North on Monday, get it out for Tuesday, I may be killing myself, but I mean, we're going to be putting out content, and that's what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I'm going to be enjoying this off season. I know that. I go away for my honeymoon in a few weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right at the end of November there.
Yeah.
And of course, in a couple weeks here, we have our night at the races where all Joe Media drivers are welcome to join us at Mohawk Racetrack in Campbellville, Ontario, for a night at the races. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go watch some horse racing, have some fun gambling, and Jennifer Hatch is putting together some door prizes. So if any companies want to jump in on this to support some drivers, please reach out to Jennifer. She'll be more than happy to help out there. If you want to reach out to me to figure out how to get a hold of her, or to say you have something you want to put into it, let me know. This was Megan. I don't know. Did you hear our episode with Jennifer or no? Because I know you weren't. You didn't make it out for that one.
God. No, I haven't heard that one yet.
So during the podcast, like while we were recording, she decided that we're like, oh, are we going to do door prizes? I'm like, no, I just figured just a night out, just to,
yeah.
If you want to go. If you don't, you don't. She's like, well, I think there's a buffet, so like you can always go. And she's like, you could always go beforehand, go have some dinner, and then go watch some horse racing and just kind of hang out. It's like, if we get enough people, then we could put in some door prizes and just kind of whoever shows up, kind of, if we get 10 door prizes and 10 people show up, guess what? Everyone gets a door prize.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, if anyone's interested, if you are going, please let me know. I'm working this week on something. So if drivers are coming, I need to know. Plain and simple, because for drivers who are showing up, there is a little bit of a surprise for y'all. So, and unfortunately, drivers who don't show up won't get it. And I hate to say that, but unfortunately, that's how it's going to be. But also, we are going to quickly talk about 2025 promotion packages, because the race season may be over, but that doesn't mean we're not stopping.
Nope.
The behind the scenes stuff is going on. If you are looking for promotional packages for 2025, contact Megan, contact myself, contact Brandon Feeney. One of us can help you get the promotional services you need for next year. We've already been talking to a bunch of drivers, and I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate you guys for reaching out, talking to us, finding out what we can do to help you promote your sponsors, and promote you for the race season. That's the end goal, is that we want you guys to succeed. We want your sponsors to see a return on investment, because that's what they all really look forward. So yeah, if you're interested into finding out what we have to offer, what we could offer for you guys, go over to joemedia.ca, hit the promotions tab. All the information is right there. You guys can also contact Megan, myself, or Brandon Feeney for any additional questions and whatnot. We're working on the Champions episodes as well. It's so much fun working them. We got 2 down. We're halfway in, halfway home. Megan, when I say we've had some really great conversations, you better be tuning in on Thursday for the first one. I was joined by Mason Culliver, Matt Young, Jacob Sutcliffe, and Trevor Culliver. And Trevor actually gave me the idea of turning this into, instead of just one episode, into essentially a 4-part episode.
Okay.
So, because we have all the spots filled up as well, if you are, we got all the spots filled up, thankfully. Our Champions episode will actually be a 4-part series. It has been so much fun doing these. Even Thursday night's recording was a lot of fun. We had Ryan Kimball. Oh, I feel so bad right now. Who else did we have? God damn it. I'm an idiot right now. We had Lucas Finnegan, Austin Etzel, Ryan Kimball, Hoppy, unfortunately didn't make it for that one. We rescheduled him, and then we had Matt Langford join us. But yeah, it was so much fun. This coming Tuesday, I got 2 more nights of recording of this, and Jacqueline and I still also have to record this week's episode of her podcast.
Right. Yeah.
So as soon as we're done here tonight, that's what I'm doing. So if anyone wants to send me amp energy, if you can find amp energy, I will take the green or the red one. Those are my favorite.
I missed that.
What, amp energy?
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
I never see them anymore.
I know. I find it at the dollar store every now and then, but it's just the green one.
Yeah.
I liked it. And plus because they sponsored Dale Jr.
That's exactly what
That's why I drank them.
It tasted better because of that.
They're on Dale Jr.'s car. They tasted fantastic. I've never drinking a Monster. I've never drinking a Rockstar. I've never drinking any other kind of energy drink. But if I find an amp, I'm grabbing one every single time.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's going to be enough from us from our Pets Pro Panty opening segment. We are going to get into seeing what vehicle Haley has for us this week in our Driving with Haley Vehicle Spotlight.
Hey everybody, buckle up. It's time for a brand new Driving with Haley Vehicle Spotlight. Today we're putting the spotlight on an under-the-radar gem that's ready to take your road trips to the next level, the 2023 Chevrolet Suburban LT. This black beauty isn't just a vehicle, it's your ultimate road trip companion. With heated front seats, a power liftgate, lane departure warning, you'll feel like royalty on every journey. With only 83,073 kilometers under its belt, this beast is powered by a amazing 5.3-liter Ecotec V8 engine, ready to flex its muscles whenever you need it. Cruise control? Absolutely. And on those frosty Canadian mornings, you'll love the remote engine start. Want to turn your drive into a concert? The premium sound system has got you covered. Plus, the rear parking aid is like having a trusted fenceman always there to back you up. Need space for your crew? The spacious third row seating ensures no one gets left behind, and with running boards, stepping in and out is a breeze. No matter your credit situation, Haley Hill can get you into this ride. So don't wait. Contact her today at 289-808-2828 by email at hhill@rideride.ca or find Driving with Haley on Facebook and Instagram. Now let's get back to the True North Racing Podcast presented by Driving with Haley.
This week in our graphic design studio guest segment, we are joined by the driver, the 32 champion mini stock driver at Ohsweken Speedway. We got Gillian Hils with us. Gillian, how are you?
I am good. You?
Doing really well, thank you. I guess how's your off season been going so far? Let's kick off with that.
Off season? I was racing yesterday.
Did you race yesterday?
Yeah, there was an enduro at Flamborough.
I didn't see that you were racing it. I'm sorry. Actually, I did I think I did see the car, but I wasn't quite sure.
Next weekend, Humberstone Speedway.
You're heading out to Humberstone?
Yeah. I know everyone's sad. They're all off season. I'm like, no, not yet. You're not scared of wrecking your car. It's not over.
See, that's all the more reason for us to go to Humberstone next week, just to watch Gillian.
Yeah.
We
were talking about
Emma
that.
Norris is going to be there. I don't know who else is going to show up for the ladies' race.
Megan needs to bring a car.
Some friends over there with a car. Hey, can I borrow your car?
Get your sister Rachel out there too. Come on now.
Yeah, just bring your pure stocks down.
We're already
Take the
talking about
camera
going,
out.
Megan.
Yeah.
We're already
If
talking
you're
about going.
going
Let's make it
anyways.
happen.
Right?
If you're going anyways, you have
Yeah.
a truck. You just put the trailer on.
Fair.
It will be fun.
You want more race. It's not that scary.
So I
It's
guess
fun.
how's your race season going?
It's good. I got the championship at Ohsweken. I got that as a co-driver championship with Wade.
Yep.
That was cool. I think I might have been more of a hindrance. I was surprised how his car handled compared to mine, but we still won the championship, so that's good. Yeah, not too bad. This might be the first season since I started racing that I don't have a feature win, though.
Really?
Yeah, very consistent. Lots of second places.
Yeah.
Feature win this year.
I mean, consistency counts in a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lots of seconds, third, but no number ones yet. Humberstone ladies race might be a last ditch effort. Yeah, wild.
I never even realized that.
Mhm. The pure stock's not what it used to be. And I didn't
Yeah.
really love Wade's car. The dirt car was amazing, but starting at the back all the time is really hard to get up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get like your first start in racing? Where did that all start?
I grew up knowing I was going to race. Mom's side of the family was always into cars. My cousin Carl is from my mom's side of the family, Carl Salt. He races lots. And then my dad's side of the family was all demo derbies, figure eight races, all the crazy hooligan stuff. And growing up, like I was probably like 8 years old and knew like, yeah, I'm gonna go racing. I just gotta get big enough. I gotta get so I can reach those pedals. And yeah, we used to race around the backyard all the time as kids. My parents have a treed property, and out the back we'd race in between the trees. And as soon as I could reach the pedals, before I could reach the pedals, Dad would have a car with a bench seat. He'd reach his foot over. He'd be pressing the pedals. I'd be steering it. In the driver's seat, in my little plastic booster seat, just trying to turn. Yeah, there was no question. It was always, I'm going to go racing. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's such a great backstory though too. Like from a young age, you knew it.
Oh yeah.
And now
and the
you
only
get
thing that hurts more than trees is the wall, and they're probably the same. You learn quick in the forest.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So when did you get your first taste being behind the wheel of a stock car, like on the track? Like how old were you?
On the track, I was a little bit older. Well,
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit older. I could reach the pedals by myself. My dad had built a pure stock. It would have been the first year that Flamborough ran the pure stocks, which might have been...
Was that 2015, 2014 there? Maybe a little bit before
I
that? I
started racing full-time in 13, so it might have been...
Okay. 2012 then, 2011?
2011, maybe 2011. So I would have been 14? I think he was just in a meeting talking to John Caselli, and he had the car there. And it was a Ford Taurus. And he just goes to me, he goes, oh, you can go out on the track if you want, just don't go over 80 kilometers an hour. And he just went in a meeting with John and left me on the track, and I'm just 80 kilometers an hour, and I come off and I go to him, I go, that's kind of boring. Can I go a little bit faster? And he's like, well, I'm watching you, so sure. Yeah, that was the start. And then, yeah, a few years later, I was in my first car, the 91 Honda Prelude.
Is that's the one that you have now?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that 91 Prelude, we were talking about that this weekend. That car now, with the camber rules and the better tires that were allowed, that car would probably be like a 19 flat car. But
yeah,
she's long gone. She got used. Well, 2015, we turned her into a mini stock. And then, then I sold it. The guy crashed it. I bought it back. Sold it again. Never seen it again. It's on dirt. But yeah, nowadays that would have been a really good car, but you never find parts. My Prelude I have now is a 96, and I've got one identical parts car in the back, and that'll be it for that car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Not really much. Because I remember when who was it now? Michael Kenny had a Prelude, and we picked up a parts car from like downtown Toronto for like $5,000.
Yeah, Michael Kenny's the one who bought it, and then he sold it to somebody else. I don't know. I think he had a couple Preludes, but that might have been the same car. It was, when I sold it, it was all black. It had the newer style body on it.
Yeah, because the one he picked up was all black with orange trimming, and it had raced up at full throttle. Okay, that's the one that we picked up.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year that was, though. I don't remember what year the Prelude was.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah. Michael raced it a few times, and RJ raced it a few times too. So I know that. So obviously, racing in your blood. Been competing for what, close to 14, 15 years at this point now.
No,
seems like
this is
what?
13 was my first, so 11 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm an idiot. I
I
can't
feel
do
like
math.
we're
I
the
was never
old
that
ones
good.
out there now, though. Like, I hang out with the pure stock guys, and it's like, oh, yeah, me and Wade, we've been doing this 11 years. And they're like, yeah, I started 3 years ago. And I'm like, ooh, I'm the old guy now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Really? I'm pretty sure we had a conversation like that a few weeks ago at the track about like how old we are, we're the same age and everything. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, we're the same age, but you're old. You've been doing this forever.
You're experienced in racing.
Yeah.
I like that.
I've got lots of tree racing experience. I've never hit a tree that I wasn't pushed into, though. Thanks, Dad.
Oh my god, that is awesome. Jeez, I can't. Yeah, apparently I can't do math, so we're all good. So obviously, with racing in like the pure stocks for such a long time, you've seen the class evolve so much, and of course, even going over to the dirt side and running there, there's so much. I always say there's so much difference, but I guess you'd be the one of the best ones to really talk about it because you're doing both and you've done both. What kind of differences have you noticed, and how far has the class really evolved from that first bone stock race back in like 2013, 2012?
2013, if I had the chance,
2013.
I'd throw the rules right back to what it used to be. Just old, you're running minivan tires, the cars are just sliding around. You're chunking tires like crazy, but you can find them for $50.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun. Like, pure stocks now are fast. I remember, I think it was Frost Fest 2014, my second year racing. And I was like one of the 3 cars that could get into the 19-second range, and I ran like a 19.1. Everyone's like, whoa, you're so fast. We've took a second off our time in 10 years.
Holy.
That's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because every year drivers are always asking for more things, right?
Yeah. Oh, can we get camper? Our tires will last longer. Oh, if we have a little bit sportier tires, they'll last a little longer. We won't have to buy as many. And it's like, it's fun because it's fast. Like when you jump to a mini stock, it's a big jump, but it's not like like how those cars were versus how a mini stock now would be a huge jump probably for a lot of people. But now it feels different, but it's not crazy. It's not unreasonable to go between the two.
I was gonna say, considering when I first started going to Flamborough 20 odd years ago, I remember the announcer sitting up in the tower going, you could, and talk about the mini stocks, going, you could pull these cars that's 10 years old off the road, throw a cage in it, and go racing. And as soon as I saw the pure stocks, guess what I heard? You could pull a car off the road, throw a cage in it, and go racing. I'm like, where have I heard that before?
Yeah.
And I'm like, now
what happened to the mini stocks?
And I always and I say this, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I kind of feel like in the next 10 to 15 years, they're gonna have to come up with another new entry level class, because the pure stocks are gonna be so far into a mini stock, and the mini stocks are gonna be obsolete, that the pure stocks are gonna be mini stocks, but we need to find a new entry level division, and it's a vicious cycle. Let's be real.
Yeah, because the drivers always want one little thing more, and well, it's a safety thing, or can we add some bars in the front so our cars last longer? And yeah, common sense, yeah, that makes sense. But back when we had cars with no front loops and we drove them into the wall, we came back next week with a new car, because it was like we were like $500 into the car and like $500 into like a seat, a fuel cell, your belts, like stuff you can switch between cars.
Yeah.
So you just change cars, right? Now it's not like that. People got new struts. They got it set up. They like their car. It's a cage, front and rear loops, and like the cars last longer, which is good. But you put more money in a car that you know is going to last, right?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, I'm sure the Mitchells know all about that too, with them having 4 cars over there.
Imagine old school days. You'd have 8 over there.
Literally. Oh my God.
There would be a new one every week. Don't lie.
We did that with
Oh my
bombers. The one time I was racing my car and I was like, not quite feeling it. I think it was the first year I ran Bomber, and I'm like, I kind of want to try a different car. Dad's like, well, I got this 90 something Civic in the back. He's like, he's got to work on Carl's car. He was running Thunderstock at the time. He's like, oh, you just strip it out, and in the morning I'll bolt the roll bar into it, and you can just go race it. And I'd go out. I went out of Ohsweken. I go, no, I like this car less than the other car, and I just parked it back here. It was like we had nothing to do it. Like it was maybe not even 10 hours work total into the car.
Mm-hmm.
I like I always say, pure stocks and I guess the bomber class would essentially are just glorified demolition derby cars or enduro cars with the extra bars and stuff like that. Yeah, it used to be.
Used to be. Yeah.
I forget.
I tried to treat my car like an enduro car just to keep the pure stock guys in line. I took it out to the enduro and it came out better than most pure stock races. I mean, I took a lot less chances out there because, like, it's a little wild, but yeah.
Actually, I do kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Yesterday, because I forgot about the enduro, and you raced it, which I thought you were already in your off season, but again, I was wrong. How did that go for you?
Really great until lap almost 160. I had the cars always had a weird part where it started hitting the chip, the rev limiter. And I guess the problem got bad enough that we could diagnose it. The transmission's slipping when it gets hot. Okay. And it got really hot around lap 60. And it's an automatic. And got really hot and limped it around to the point where I bumped it up to third gear. And I was running half throttle. And it was chipping all the way around till I could pull off.
Gosh.
And then, so Flamborough had the first 200 laps. That was like your winner of the race, won that, second, third, up to 12th place. And then 13 back. It ended up being like a broken cars race, like a second chance. They had like a 100-lap dash for everyone who finished 13th or worse. So I was like, okay, this poor transmission is cooked. Like, it is so hot. It's steaming and smoking. My cousin Carl's there. And I'm like, I wonder if it cools off, if it might be okay. So we're dumping just pails of water on it. And then we get it kind of cool and we check the levels good. It's just like really black in there now. And Leo Labarbera, he had some anti-slip Lucas transmission stuff. Put a liter of that in and went out, and it started acting up just after probably lap 90, but I pulled off a second in the broken cars race, so I'll take it.
Can I just say I love the fact that it was a 100-lap dash.
Just a little dash, you know?
That's just a Sunday drive. I mean,
enduro, I've always said it hurts the same after lap 100. I got lap 100 out of the way in the first race. It's all good. You just go numb. Your body is like, I've been sending you pain signals for the last half hour. I give up. You figure it out.
Oh boy. Obviously, we know you're a very accomplished driver across the board. It's been it's been great watching you. What did that championship feel like at Flamborough or at Ohsweken Speedway this year? Oh, I mean, guess both tracks really, but how did Ohsweken Speedway?
Everyone too much. Good job, Wade. Proud of you.
How did that championship feel for you at Ohsweken?
Ohsweken was like a little bit of a vengeance. 2018, I led the championship most of the year. Got just tangled up in somebody else's mess and turned in front of the field. Big crash with like 3 races left on the season. And just, so I had the big crash. We had a lot of parts fixed on the car, but something was still off the next night. So I took another points loss and it came down to the last night and I lost by 1 point. And then it was like, I wanted to get that redemption, but I had changed jobs. And I couldn't get to the track Friday nights anymore. So I had been off. I haven't raced Ohsweken full time. I've gotten Wade's cars a couple times since then. but I haven't gotten back in full-time racing at Ohsweken until just this year. So it was kind of like a little bit of a vengeance thing. It was like a little bit of a vengeance and a little bit of like this car just kind of fell into my lap, and I'm like, it's a good car. We could do something with it. And yeah, we just went out there and it worked out. It came down to the last night again. If the second place car finished, I think it was 4 or 5 positions better than me, he would have got it. And we were racing side by side, like 5th place. I think if I finished where he finished that last night, I think it would have been a very close finishing. You'd need the calculator. So, it was a nice little redemption. I think getting out of the car that last race is probably the most excited I've been in a car. Definitely the most excited I've been to finish second in a race.
We're sitting in the stands and I'm freaking out the whole race. And I kept saying to my dad, I'm like, I'm going to throw up or something. Like, why? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like really nervous for Gillian right now. I'm freaking out.
My poor parents. My poor parents the whole week, they're dreading it. And I'm chill. I'm like, you know what? The worst I can do this year is finish second in the points. And I'm like, man, if I don't win a race and I finish second in the points, I'm going to be a little bit sore, but like, I'll take it. And I was cool as a cucumber all week. And then there was a threat of rain that night. And then the emotional roller coaster starts. And then I got to the track and I'm like, I go to dad, like, just like a cocky little kid. I'm like, I'm going to get on the podium. Don't worry. Everything's fine. And it was like, I forget what it was, like 2 to go. And I'm running like 5th or 6th. And I just found like an extra inch under the gas pedal. And I just went and drove up to second. It was just like, I need to do this or I might lose it. And went, and it went.
That's awesome.
That was a
good night. Yeah. I'm glad it didn't rain out that night. I would have took a rain out that night. It would have been a lot easier on everyone's nerves, but yeah.
Nothing wrong with racing for it.
When it turns out your way, it feels pretty good. But when you know it could not, you know it's going to hurt pretty bad.
That's the downfall of it,
right?
Yeah. Which and you get to celebrate that championship in front of everyone in just a couple weeks here, I think, for Ohsweken's banquet.
Yeah, I think well,
that's
it's
coming
next
up
month.
soon. It's in November.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What?
Are they broadcasting it again or no?
Probably.
Damn it.
I know we're recording right now, and Peterborough is running all their
I know
stuff right now. I was like, I logged on to YouTube, and I was like, oh, and I'm like, no, don't look.
No, because if they were to broadcast again, I can't watch it, or else my wife's gonna kill me. I go on vacation that day.
Oh
no!
I
fly out that day.
It's saved online forever. Don't tell her I said that.
Thank
just
God.
in case you want to watch it, but it's on YouTube forever.
She knows about G-Force and how it just stays online. She knows I can watch it later.
Point it out. I won't tell her, but
oh man.
You never know what'll happen.
Exactly. Obviously, you know, your season's not done, and I feel like everyone should be at this point, but apparently not. But we still never
give up on racing.
No, that's what we like, though. We love don't give up on racing, and I love it. And obviously, you're going to Evo Destruction this weekend. We're trying to talk Megan into going. We're trying to get Megan.
The last race ever there, Megan.
I know.
You gotta say you ran it once.
Just take my dad old car.
Yeah.
This year's car.
And he's got to finish his new one. Perfect.
There you go.
Exactly.
Worst case, he has to finish his new one. There. Perfect.
There you go.
I hear nothing wrong with this plan. I'll see you there, Megan.
She rolls in with the Orchard Black 73.
Yeah. What?
These guys at the Enduro are like, these ladies take this lady race way too serious.
Oh man, I what are you looking forward to the most though at Eve of Destruction this weekend, with it being the last official race at Humberstone?
Is there an event you don't look forward to in Eva Destruction? It's all crazy.
You know
There's
what?
no like, calm ones. Like the Enduro is more conventional, but it's definitely not calm.
I've never been to an Eva Destruction. I've heard about them. I thought they've always been cool. Never made what out to one. So
Will always recommend. Yes.
they look like fun.
Yeah, they're crazy. It is. I call it the Redneck Olympics. Is what I
It is though.
say it is. Yeah.
Sold.
Redneck Olympics or Redneck X Games, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
Then we got to put a car on a half pipe.
Yeah.
Just saying, if it's gonna be crazy, even destruction, we got to get a car on a half pipe. That's all I'm saying.
It's wild. They'll do you like a school bus through an RV while they're setting off airbags as instead of fireworks, they set off used airbags. It's top of the line.
Oh, I love that.
Top of the line redneck entertainment. Like, I don't know if you could come up with something more redneck than
Right?
jumping a school bus through an RV with dismantled airbags going off as the bus goes up.
I can probably add two more things. One being a mud slip and slide,
Okay.
and two, we'll call it the crane event. So you got an excavator. Get an excavator in the middle of a tarp, put some soap and water on it, and the guy has to hang on for 15 seconds at max speed of the excavator.
They had excavators one year. They had, I think,
Did they
Niagara
really?
College. Yeah, they sponsored the event. And I think it was 2 Niagara College kids. And it was like, who could destroy the car the most with the excavator in like a set amount of time? It was like a halftime show or
Oh
something.
my god.
Okay. So
Look, we were that close.
I am almost tempted. I'm going to Humberstone next weekend at this point.
Yeah.
You have to. My mom's
Have
like stunned about the mattress race. I'm like, yeah, that'll be interesting. You have to come, John. You have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I said that 2 weeks ago was or a couple weeks ago was my last event of the 2024 season, but I think I can make an exception for Humberstone especially with it closing.
It's the last one. Yeah.
Exactly. I've only ever been once to it, and it was back when like COVID was going on. So I think it was there was a Friday night event that they held, and the Saturday I drove to Southern Ontario Motor Speedway. That was the second dirt race I've ever taken Jacqueline to in my life, and it was such a cool little facility out in the middle of nowhere. It was very well attended, and it sucks to see a track close because we let's be real, none of us want to see tracks close. No,
I love that track too. It's the perfect mix of Flamborough Speedway and Ohsweken Speedway in my mind. Mostly just because it's dirt, but it reminds me so much of Flamborough Speedway. It's small, it's tight. Like, you can go 2 or 3 wide, but, it's not the most comfortable. And, like, if you get out of shape there, I always say I'm at, like, a 50% track record there. I either, like, do okay, or I wreck the car. Like, I'll go all year at Ohsweken. I didn't wreck. Like, I didn't bang up the car. Flamborough, I just ran technically 260-something laps. Hardly a scratch on the car. I go to Humberstone, half the time I'll just wreck the car. I love it there. But I have to go sparingly because that's a lot of time. And that's just me. Like, some people are great there, but something just seems to always happen there for me. Something will happen right in front of me, and I'll be in it. I almost killed that pure stock there. They had King of the Fours one year, and they invited the pure stocks to run with the mini stocks, and they had 4-cylinder trucks back then. And we all raced on track, and And just someone got out of control, and there's no walls, so they went down off the track, and they rejoined in a weird spot, and everything piled up. I hit Volkswagen Golf so hard. It bent, like, it's a subframe car, but like kind of that front frame horn. 4 different spots. One of them was like right at the windshield. Porta powered the poor pure stock back. This is probably like 5 years ago or something. Took one measurement, porta powered it back till that one measurement worked, and we're like, we'll just slap a wheel on and see how it does at Flamborough. That car is probably the most disrespected pure stock that does good. These guys are talking about, I buy this brand of brand new Strat. And I'm like, brand new Strat? I've got a parts car in the back. I think it's got the original ones from 96, but they don't look like they leak.
Oh my God. I always get a kick out of you talking about trying to blow that thing up. And it's like, it keeps going. Like,
keeps going.
There is no
this Saturday, I was like, did I technically blow it up? Like, I almost blew up the transmission. Like, the transmission's kind of unsavable. I mean, if it doesn't get too hot, and maybe if we change all the transmission oil into like the Lucas stop slip, we can get it stuck in the second gear. It might still be fine. We don't want to work on it. Like, the rear main seal started leaking, so we siliconed the bell housing to the engine block. Like, we don't want to work on it.
Oh my God.
That's not what pure stock was about when I started.
And it's still like one of the fastest ones out there. So like
it's still good.
Exactly.
Sometimes it sounds like a tractor. It just means it needs an oil change, apparently. Like, the whole valve train was ticking when I pulled it out of the backyard for like this. I came out later in the season at Flamborough, and it was ticking and it was getting hot. And I'm like, maybe it's just ready to die. Like, and then Dad's like, well, let me do an oil change first. And he changes the oil. And I'm like, did you take the valve cover off, adjust the lifters or anything? And he's like, no, I just put new oil in it. I'm like, it sounds great. And I'm like, no problems with it anymore. Well, now the transmission, but Leo's anti-slip worked wonders. Like, I could probably still do a pure stock race in it.
Oh my God.
I could see
it. She'll solo up half the field. Let's face it.
That's
the car of Band-Aids. When you have nothing to lose.
It's true.
And cars don't die, so just race it.
Oh, I love that car.
I think 4 or 5 years ago, the switch flipped in my head. I'm like, if I hit the wall in this car and wrecked it, I think it would just be funny that it's over. Like, it doesn't owe me anything. It's just like, that sucks. I hope the fans enjoyed that. Like, whatever. It doesn't owe me a thing. We built it in 2015. Like, it's 9 years old. And it's just the car of Band-Aids. If you ever walk up to it, it's like, it needed some brake lines, so we just ran them through the car with just random unions, because it was like, we have this much brake line. Okay, well, we'll patch it together with this brake line. And like, it's got spaghetti wiring in it, because like we were like, that'll be handy, because if we use this car in the next, or this roll cage in the next car, we got lots of wiring. We could just rerun it to the fans and stuff if we put like double the wiring. And it's 9 years old. It was just supposed to die. The first Prelude we built like that lasted one enduro and a pure stock race, and I took it to practice, and it could hardly drive itself up the trailer. So we were like, it's a Honda, but maybe these motors don't last that long.
Sounds like
we had no faith in it. The feature wind stickers, it's only got one feature wind sticker on it from 2016, because it used to smoke so bad, the engine, that I started sticking them on my helmet, because I'm like, I want to keep these feature wind stickers even after this car finally blows up.
That's fair.
Good, like 8.5 years ago, I started doing that. The helmet expired before the car. The helmet's on my shelf.
I was going to ask what happened with the helmet. Did you put it up on a shelf for it to be displayed?
Yeah. Oh,
that's
course.
Awesome.
Yep.
I could just imagine, because like So one of my favorite college football teams, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they get whenever I don't know how I've never actually learned how the players get stickers. Apparently, it's like certain things, but at the start of their career, they show up to school with a silver helmet with a red stripe down the center. As they progress over their 4 years, they get a new Buckeye leaf, like little like dime size sticker that they add to the helmet. So as soon as you start saying, I put them on my helmet, I'm like, it reminded me of what the Buckeyes tradition is.
Yeah.
Good accomplishments get on the helmets.
Yeah. Well, I was
I don't
like,
know.
this
That's what I
car's not
thought.
going to last. It's already ready to blow up. It's not going to last another 8.5 years like it has.
Oh my goodness.
And it's
We
still
have
running.
another transmission in the backyard. It's the exact same one, but half of me just wants to be like, let's just keep putting stop slip in it until like it just doesn't work. Because like I don't want to take the transmission off.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's still fast with that, like it ran 90 laps. Pure stock races aren't that long.
That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, I think it'll be fine.
And it was already kind of hot from the enduro before, right? So it might even be fine as an enduro car with stop slip in it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I am all for not having to work on my cars if I'm getting results.
Exactly.
Right?
Don't fix what ain't broken.
Yeah. The pure stock rule, you can't beat 19 seconds. I mean, like, it's getting tired. It runs probably 19.3s now. It's having a hard time, but I don't know. Maybe the transmission is slipping and that stop slip might help it a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find something else broken. It's been pretty neglected, so.
Get another 4 years out of it before it finally.
Yeah. It's looking
Oh my
like
God.
Rodney's Rutherford's like
Integra.
that he just lets people borrow to try and keep their points. It's like you can use it if you can make it look like it has a quarter panel again. Marks it beside Courtney Scott's like pristine pure stock. That's the same. I think they got built the same year. I think those three cars got built within a year of each other. Rodney's Integra. Carl has a red Integra. Courtney Scott's purple pure stock that looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And it's my car that looks somewhere between Courtney's car and Rodney's car. I have changed so many body panels on that car. We are running out. I do try. I see some nice pure stocks and I'm like, I got to do something about this car. I'm like, is there a paint job that'll hide the damage a little bit better for these guys? You might not believe it looking at my car, but white does wonders. It would look a lot worse black. White really hides it in like camera pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it does. Wow, that's my favorite car out there. I love your car.
Facebook memories popped up like a day or two before the Enduro. It was like 4 years ago, and it was my car with that current paint scheme, Rodney's Enduro car, and Carl's Enduro car. And they're all lined up. And I'm like, man, that car was so beautiful. And I was like, 4 years ago, because that was like the year I stuck a jack handle in the taillight and pulled the quarter panels back out and tried to hammer them straight. I think I did a good job. I might have missed the calling on bodywork. Like if I had like more than a big hammer and a block of wood and a jack handle. Imagine what I could do with like one of those little dolly hammers.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Maybe I have to find out this year. That car under the bumper cover, the rear bumper cover, the end of the rear bumper cover's here. It's been hit in the back by an HHR, a Pontiac Grand Prix during Enduros. From the back bumper, it is hollow for like three and a half feet. It is just hollow. It's just crunched in. But like you can't tell because I got the trunk bolted down right to the bumper. It's all just hidden. I pulled the taillights back out. Like I pulled the rear quarter panels back out. It looks good. Someone goes to give me a push. They got to drive 3 feet further than they thought they were.
Oh my god.
They go
Oh
to
my
give me a
God.
push. They're probably going too fast in the corner because they planned to give me a push a long time ago by the time they make it. I love that car.
Mm. Oh, that's good.
I go through cycles. I'm like, it's fine if it dies. And I'm like, man, it's made it so long. Like, maybe we can hit that 10 years.
Seriously, though.
I've got a good parts car in the back. So it's like, we talked about, oh, maybe we should just build the parts car. And I'm like, nobody's got time for that.
Oh my goodness. So do you have any like with your career in racing, do you have any plans or thoughts of like what you're gonna do in the future?
Oh, I'm probably just gonna play. I used to like when I started, I was like, yep, pure stock, did that 2 years. Oh, this car, we can turn it into a mini stock. Like, I'm ready. I've won some races. I'm fine. Went to mini stock, ran that for a year. The Pro 4 guys was talking to them, and then they were a couple times. They were like, hey, you want to hop in? Such and such can't make it. You want to hop in their car? Such and such didn't make it. You want to try their car? And I was like, ooh, I kind of like this. I ran that for a couple years. I'm like, there's nothing as fun as a pure stock. And I went right back. And I was like, I just love this. And I'm like, the people, they're having fun. There's people just learning. You can kind of give them the tips and tricks, and they're all excited. They're just starting racing. And then there's like the guys, the older guys. Am I one of the older ones, I guess now? That just like the low budget racing. And they got the same attitude as me. It's like, there's nothing to prove. I just want to go out here and have fun, you know? There's a lot of that in pure stock. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm here for fun. I'm not going to NASCAR. I'm like, rear wheel drive's cool. You feel cool when you come out of the corner and the back end slides and stuff. And you're not pushing towards the wall. But I don't know. Pure stock's fun. I think I'm a career pure stock driver. And then Ohsweken, the lowest you can go is mini stock. Otherwise, I'd be all over a bomber. I'd run up that field track until I'm probably 60-something years old. Trying to roll myself off a tractor tire. I never rolled my bomber car. I feel like I missed an opportunity, you know? Those people, I remember the tractor tire. People would win races and they'd get excited. I think it was Dusty DeBoer, who runs mini stock now. I think it was him or one of his brothers. Got like one, probably excited. Didn't notice the tractor tire just wasn't taking as competitive a line. Hit the tractor tire and rolled after he won the race. And I'm like, that's fun. Like, it's like, I want to win a race and roll. Like, that's dope.
That's the way to do it.
The only time I ever rolled, I hit my head and I feel like I missed half of it.
You get to enjoy it.
I didn't get the full effect. I just remember like feeling lightness in the belts and then darkness. And I'm like, I feel like I got ripped off.
Oh my God. I feel a rollover competition would be fantastic for you at that rate.
Oh yeah.
Not at like even destruction.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing at the Paris Fair growing up when they had the rollover competitions. Like those, you see some idiot just go with his car and start rolling. You have to count how many times he rolls. I'm like, sign me up, I guess. That's
like it looks fun.
Exactly.
It seems very controlled. Like it doesn't seem that dangerous. Like it's as dangerous as you make it. You built the car.
Exactly.
Like,
and what is that? I think all you have to do is have like I can't remember, but I think the guys all had like a 2-inch bar that went over top of the roof. I know that.
Yeah.
But it was like a 2x2, like it was a thick bar that went up and over. But that's all he needed from one side to the other. Just I'm like, you know what? Sign me. But to be fair, I also want to be the middle car in a train race, in a crazy train race. Because I know all I can do is steer. I don't have brakes. I don't have gas. I just want to steer, and I just want to get twist it around. I think that'd be fun. Because that's
See,
another
I'm
way you
like,
could flip.
tail car sounds awesome. I am just if I land on my wheels, we're still going. Just don't look in your mirror. Just keep going forward. I'll be there.
One way or
Ohsweken
another, right?
had that one year in the on the bomber track. They had chain race, and it was like a big boat of a derby car hauling up like Festiva. And the guy just rolled his buddy like a few times. They both get out, like red flag. They check on each other. They're like, "You want to keep going?" And they're like, "Hell yeah!" And they kept going.
Oh, that looks like so much fun. We're gonna get into
I'm not a late model driver. I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
which is awesome. Before we run out of time, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. You run a late model, you're pissed if you roll it. You're
yeah.
I roll my pure stock, it's funny. Like, if I'm not hurt, it's funny. Like, finally, like, the roof's the only panel I haven't changed on this car.
It's like a mission now.
We let's just find a freaking rollover ramp for you. Let's just.
Baz said, if I can hit the C-can outside of I think the deal's over. I think they were just feeling ambitious that night. If I can hit the C-can at Flamborough over the wall and hit the C-can, they'll sponsor me the next year. But
oh my god,
couldn't do it.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're having a lot of fun with this conversation. I don't want it to end. Unfortunately, my timer's telling me we're gonna have to stop soon.
Okay.
But that just means, one, we're gonna have to bring you back at another time because this has been a lot of fun. But we do need to get to our tailored to you median design fan question period. As you saw earlier today, we put out there on Facebook that you were going to join us. We got some fan questions. Are you ready to answer them?
Hell yeah.
All right, Megan, take it away.
I'm ready. So Zach Lynch asked, what is your favorite part of racing mini stocks?
Mini stocks? It's chill. It's fun. Mini stock's a little bit more work than the pure stock. We can't neglect it as hard, but I do like my 50 hours a week. I don't want to stay up all night tuning a car. I just want it Friday night. I book out of work. Like, I get out of work 6:00. I zip down to the track. I'm in there ready to race 7:30. It's easy. It's fun. Everyone's chill.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Mark Allen said, please have her tell the story of when her and her sister raced around the backyard with their dad.
We touched on that, but we didn't bring up my sister. My poor sister. She's upstairs. Hopefully she doesn't hear me. But I was always the calm one, surprisingly. But we would race around the backyard. Dad, the first time she ever hit a tree was by herself, no help. She was going around. Dad was teaching us standard. I was the oldest. I went first. He goes, that one's the gas, that one's the brake, that one's the clutch. And then when we're in there, he's like, okay, let the clutch out slow, give it a little gas. And so I got it going, and we're going around and around and around. And it's very calm. And he's like, oh, probably thinking, oh, this is a great idea. My kids are learning how to drive standard. They're like, can hardly reach the pedals. We're probably like 9 or 10 at this point. And then it was my sister's turn. And he figured she was paying attention. So she gets in. And somehow they managed to get the clutch released and the car going. And they're doing laps around and laps around. And then she's getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And then we're facing a tree. My dad's going, brake, 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 brake. And she didn't hit the brake. We rolled. He knocked it into neutral, thankfully. And we went right into the tree. And we get out and we're looking at the damage. My dad goes to her, why didn't you hit the brake? She goes, little like 8 or 9-year-old kid. Which one's the brake? Hit the tree. Now she knows which pedal's which, and she's hit like 3 or 4 more trees since then. But the last one we did was a Ford Escort. Same thing every time. Faster, faster and faster. And she doesn't like hammer down on the straightaway and then brake hard and go into the corner. It's just like the same speed the whole time. And just faster and faster and faster. And then I'm like, oh, this is about the point. And I reached down to go into my pocket. And it just felt like it went quiet in the car. And I'm like half turned looking and boom, hit the tree so hard. It moved one of the front wheels right into the firewall, popped the tire. We were moving. I had this massive bruise across my chest from the seatbelt, not sitting in a good position. We look at, and the car's just ruined. And then my mom's back at the house, and like we're laughing about it. It was funny. It was bad, but it was funny. We get inside the house, and we're like, "Oh yeah, we crashed the car." And my mom's like, "Oh, I thought I heard a bang." And I'm like, "You didn't even text one of us. You didn't even check on us. We were just, oh, they should be fine." It sounded like a friggin' 70-kilometer-an-hour crash back there. They should all be fine. They went out there with their helmets. My mom let us get away with a lot of stuff, but I think that was just because Dad was out there too.
Oh my God.
Yep. The only thing that hurts pretty close to as bad as a tree is the wall. Swear, I don't know. That time hitting the tree probably hurt more than any time I've hit the wall.
Oh God.
Yeah. Trees teach you lessons.
I bet.
Trees and 3-point belts teach you lessons. Oh.
Okay. Oh. And okay, next ones. Rob Twitchett said, "Do you think being from a racing family was a blessing or a curse? Did it make it easier or did it make people hold you to a higher standard?"
100% blessing. Like setting up a car, like me and Dad, like over the years, we have such a good communication level. I probably couldn't even set up a car because I rely so much on him. And I can literally be to him, I'm like, it's tight, like to the point it's okay, but I think it's slowing me down. But when I come in, it's so loose that I have to brake early so I don't spin out. And we can I can tell him that, and the next practice, my car is perfect. Like there's not like stuff that probably takes people weeks to get fine-tuned in. I can go up to him and go like, it's doing, I can tell him exactly what it's doing, and it's fixed perfectly the next time I go out for practice. Dirt car, pavement car, everything. Like huge. And then being held to a higher standard is just, you rise to it, and then you have to perform, so you're going to perform. And like, I don't think if I didn't feel like I could win, I probably wouldn't win. Like, So when you're forced to my dad's built so many cars, so many of these cars won championships, I should at least be able to win in this. And then you go out there and you expect to win in it, right? Like you take risks that somebody that thinks, oh, my car is not that good would never take, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely a blessing.
And then he also asked, of all the tracks you have run, what is your favorite to race on?
Flamborough. That is my home. I love that place. I love that place. I love the consistency. I love the challenge. It's tight. You have to be a good, consistent driver every single lap. Ohsweken, you can mess up and oops, I messed up what I wanted to do. But that line got faster. So I'll just keep doing what I thought was messing up 10 more times because it worked great. And I was like, it's a lot of change. It's like adjusting on the fly versus just being so honed in. You're like, I have to hit this spot. If I can't hit this spot because I got to pass somebody, I hit this spot. You read the drivers so much. And Ohsweken, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that much of a hooligan, but it's Ohsweken's for the crazy people. Ohsweken's for the people who are willing to just put their foot down and grab a handful of wheel and hit a rut and go, my tires aren't popped, and just keep going. I can do it, but it's not natural. I like that calculated,
Mm.
I can kind of see what this guy, his habits are, so I can do this to get, yeah, it's fun.
There's like no room for error at Flamborough.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, you learn quick at Flamborough. Ohsweken, you can probably go even a year of not knowing you're not a very good driver before something gets you. Flamborough, you can get maybe through the first feature if you're lucky.
Yeah. And then Rob also asked, what is your biggest regret in your racing career?
I don't think I've had anything I really regretted. No, I don't think so. It's everything that I've tried, I got to try. Like Pro 4s, there was drivers that I didn't like racing with because they kind of drove over their head, and I got tangled up with certain things, and that was frustrating. But it was amazing to drive a car that was that fast, right? No, I don't think I regret anything. Definitely glad I didn't get too far. I didn't chase the big late model dream or anything, because I don't think I'd be having as much fun as I do.
I'm with you there.
Pure stocks for life.
That's exactly the way I am.
Stocks if you want to try moving up, but it's not that fun.
Everyone's like, oh, but what if you want to go up to? I'm like, I promise you, I'm not. Like,
yeah, like don't worry. Like this is where it's at. There's a reason people like Wade and Andy doesn't run as much, but Gary's run there forever, and like all of us, like Courtney's running. There's a reason we all stayed.
Yeah, is this the last one? Yes. William_Trillium said, what is your favorite racing memory so far?
It's a good question. I've hit my head a lot of times. I feel like I missed something. I take everything so day by day. Like definitely this year, like that second place that locked me into the championship, that I won the championship, like that would definitely be the highlight of my year. Like I've had fun races. I remember I was pretty new. It was like 2014. I had a night. I did a heat race and then a feature driving side by side with Andy Weller. Like side by side, I think every single racing lap for that whole night, except for 3 whole laps. And like that was fun. Poor Andy, my exhaust. The exit was like right like under my seat on the left side, and I had the loudest car on the whole track. It just sat there the whole race, side by side by side. And I think it was I got him in the heat race. I just edged out, but the feature he got me back, and that was fun. He was deaf after we're talking, and he's like, but yeah, sorry, that was my bad. Yeah. The old 91 Prelude was pretty sweet car. It was pretty fun.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for our Taylor to You Media Design Fan Question Period. Of course, we got to thank everyone who submits those questions each and every week. Make sure you guys tune in every Sunday. Well, I guess not really every Sunday coming up here soon, but make sure you guys see when we're going to be recording a new episode, and make sure you guys drop your questions. And, of course, we got to thank this week's guest, Gillian, for taking the time to answer those questions for us.
Thank you.
Like I said, timer is telling me that we're gonna have to wrap it up soon. But like I said, you have an open invitation to come back whenever you want, because this has been an absolute blast chatting with you. And of course, I feel like we barely scratched the surface on anything because it was such a great conversation, which is fine because that means we get to learn more the next time we talk with you. So before we let you go, we got to open up the floor to you to thank all your friends, your family, your sponsors, and so you can thank anyone from, your grandparents from 3 generations ago who don't even know you exist, to a future dog you may want to have, or cat or rabbit or any kind of pet. You could thank some random guy who you met when you were 2 is like, you should be a race car driver. It's like, I will do that.
You've seen my race cars. You're like, there's not many stickers. Just thank whoever you can think of. You're like, it's installation. Good job. Your dad, yeah, my dad is awesome. He's awesome on the car. My mom puts up with it. My cousin Carl shows up. Like, the nights that I need him, he's normally there. And I got those 4. They're awesome. Installation did me a solid this year. That's the only reason I was running dirt. They gave me an awesome deal on 2 cars to try and put together. And they're like, yep, like, run our stickers, like, hardly cost me, like, I can't say it online, how good of a deal. Like, it was great of them. Put, like, 2 dismantled cars, put them together, you could have them, just put our stickers on it. It was great. Dad put that whole car together for me. I was working 50 hours a week, and I told him I like doing it, but I'm on night shift, so when I go and want to work on the car, you're going to want to sleep. And he was totally cool with that. He set my car all up for me. My mom, she dealt with him being in the garage doing 2 people's work the whole time. And yeah, those are my people. Carl did me a solid this weekend too, dumping water on my transmission.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, like I said, you got an open invitation to come back whenever you want. We're like, I already have a list working for next year. Would love to get you back on, chat some more. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time this week to chat with us. Good luck this weekend at EVA Destruction. And congratulations once again on your championship at Ohsweken Speedway.
Awesome. Thank you.
Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday night and have fun.
Thanks. I'll get caught up on that ACC race.
We'll catch you later, okay?
Okay, I'll see ya.
And we're back from our conversation with Gillian freaking Hils. I don't know what to tell you. I had a blast chatting with her. Megan, how did you feel about that conversation?
It was really good. I love talking to Gillian like all the time, so I knew this one was going to be really good.
I've talked to her like when I see her, like I'll talk to her, just say, hey, how's it going? Like, that's it, in passing. I haven't really talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
But for years I've known who Gillian Hils is, and she was one of those people for the podcast. I was like, you know what, we should really get her on. I would love to talk to her. And I didn't realize how talkative she was, which is fantastic. That's what we want.
Yeah.
And I hope the listeners and viewers really enjoyed this, because like I said, I'll be honest, I'll flat out say this episode is in the running for the best one, the best conversation we've had all year. Mm-hmm. And we've had some really good ones in 2024. So like, I'm not knocking anyone, but this is 100% in the running for one of the best episodes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope we didn't get to talk a whole lot about like a lot. Like I said, we only scratched the surface with her. Mm-hmm. We didn't get to deep dive like we wanted to, and that's okay. Which means, like I told her, she has an open invitation.
Yeah,
because that was fantastic.
It was.
We're gonna get out of here as soon as we can, but because the next time you and I are on, it's gonna be our last episode of the True North Racing podcast, and we're gonna reminisce a little bit. We do have a new co-host for 2025 for the show, for the True North Racing podcast. We will do a full announcement the next time we sit down on the show and record one of our regular Sunday ones, not our champion stuff. We're not doing that. But the next time we will have our new co-host join us. Megan, I'm going to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on for the last 2 years on the show. I know you're not going anywhere. I feel like you are. I feel like you're going somewhere though, because we have these conversations. But you got to think, you're a big part of the show. You've been a big part of, since when I started this damn thing.
Yeah.
How many conversations do we have outside of, like, not even on the show? Like, before you were even a co-host of the driver's seat.
Before it was even a thought of that.
Right.
Like,
how many conversations did we have? Like I was feeding off of you to gauge like what you liked about the show, what you didn't like, was it good? Did we cover the right things? We had those conversations, right? And it does feel a little weird that like at 4 years now, we're just like, you're going back to the driver's seat. Cause I did the show by myself for 2 years, and now I'm like, another 2 years, and I've had you, and it's just like, man. But honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough for believing in us to be not only be on the driver's seat, but to believe in us to continue on the big show, as I like to call it, for the last 2 years when we've had to stop doing the driver's seat.
Yeah.
But I am thankful we're bringing it back. The script is done, as you know. I am working on Checkers or Wreckers this week. Yeah, I know you guys hate that, but that's my favorite part of the show.
I know.
I am so looking forward to getting back to producing and editing that show and seeing where we can go with that as well for 2025. So like I said, you're not going anywhere, but it feels like you are.
I was gonna say, you can't get rid of me that easy.
Exactly.
Like, you know I'm still gonna rope you into talking in the driver's seat, because
you're well, like I said, you're like my sister, right? You're like my younger sister.
Yeah.
So like it does feel weird to not have these conversations, but like I said, you're gonna, between you and Kate, you guys are gonna rope me into half the show anyways. So
always.
We're gonna have a lot of fun on that show. I can't wait to get the first episode recorded for that. Not first episode, but the newest episode recorded for the driver's seat. I got to work on a couple other things before we get it released, and of course we get it recorded because we had issues this past week, which is fine. It happens. This week you're busy. Next week I got to figure out what the hell's going on. So, ain't no rest for the wicked.
Exactly. I was just listening to that like earlier.
Were you really?
Yeah. Came on in the truck.
So are we like almost definite that you're gonna go to Eva Destruction this weekend?
I think so. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Rachel.
Sorry?
Rachel really wants to go, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Like, you can't.
After talking to Gillian, you're like, you got to. Right? It's the last event.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna talk to Jacqueline and see about going next weekend. But if you guys can, please go support Humberstone Speedway. It's the final event ever at Humberstone Speedway. If you're able to, please make it out. I gotta find their website real quick. I had it up here just a couple seconds ago because I wanted to look at what the game plan is. If you guys go over, it's humberstonespeedway.ca. It'll have all the ticket information, details, and everything about the program going on. Humberstonespeedway.ca. Go check them out. Go support the local short track. It's in the Niagara region. Sucks to see it go. I hate it, but unfortunately, as the way of the world goes, it sucks, right? So. But that's on that sad note, we're going to get out of here. Make sure you guys follow Megan on all social media channels, mrc.racing.73 on most social media platforms. And you guys can make sure you guys also follow Joan Media on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, joanmedia.ca. We got a lot more things coming out of the website in the next few weeks as we cap off the 2024 season. But for Megan Mitchell, I'm John Morrison. We'll see you all next time. Bye now.
Yeah.
Gas and feel the vibe, going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing.